Hey everyone, welcome to today's webinar. Today we're going to be featuring GISMA Business School, and we're going to start in just a few seconds. But before that, I want to remind everyone that this is live. So remember, we can go over some questions at the end if you write them out. But if you can't stick around the entire time, this will be recorded as well. So you'll be able to find this video later on Facebook or on YouTube. So not to worry about it. Okay, so without further ado, please welcome Laura Soliani from GISMA Business School.
Hello, Alex.
Hey,
Thank
Laura.
you very much. I'm fine. What about yourself?
Good. So, about to get started here. I think many students will have multiple questions, the ones that are going to be watching, but they're also going to be watching with their parents. So let's kind of try to match the idea with that. So just want to start a bit with asking, what's the actual experience of a student that goes to study to GISMA, so in Germany, and all these multiple campuses you guys have?
Well, overall, what's the general experience? Well, I will talk from the experience from a Latin American student, because I recruit students mainly from Latin America, from the whole continent. So their first impression is obviously like kind of a shock, right? They get there. Other weather compared to most of the countries in Latin America. Like people are really different. Food obviously is different. But like the vast majority, I'm talking here about 80–90%, once they get over the first 3 months, they really love it. Like they love, Germany is obviously a country that is very organized. There are like really good like educational options, good universities. So yeah, once they get over the first months, they get adjusted, they get like the residence permit, then everything is okie dokie with them.
But how do you guys overall help with the actual transition? So it's not just the documents, but it's also the part of the lifestyles you're mentioning. So accommodating to that huge cultural difference.
Okay, so well, we have several things. Obviously, once the students first get to Germany, then obviously we have a whole team that supports the student, like whatever program they choose, because we have several programs, right, from language programs to higher education programs. So once they arrive in Germany, we have a visa support team, we have an accommodation team for whatever institutions. So in that point, we support the students with their visas, with their housing, etc. But as GISMA is an established institution that has been in Berlin for over 3 years now. Yeah, it has like a longer history, but in Berlin, with the concept it has nowadays, it has been over 3 years. And obviously we have now a lot of students, which, well, I talk also with a lot of students I sent myself, or well, at least with, I help like with their, I don't know, with several things. So I talk with a lot of students, and most of them are really open to welcome new Latin American students. That's like the whole Latin American culture, right? So if someone needs help with accommodation, I know a lot of students that are right now are in Berlin or Hanover or Hamburg. So yeah, that's also a part of what we do as like business developers.
And overall, I know you guys have multiple campuses, but
yeah,
what's the actual international student population? So if I were to go from Latin America, would I be like the only one, or would it be mainly Latin America, or how would that?
Well, it depends a little bit on the program. As I said, we have different programs, right? We have language programs, we have higher education programs. So I would say that nowadays, like let's say, I think 60–40 would be the number. I think 60–40, 60% will go to the language programs that are the ones that we developed for international students to get into public universities, and then 40% would go to the English options. So yeah, so well, let's say within our higher education programs, I think what was it about what percentage of Latin American students there are in total?
No, No, it's mostly wanting to know basically what the population is like. So are they mostly German students at GISMA, or is it more diverse and more?
Oh, well, in at GISMA, we have more international students. So, but we have over 40 nationalities. So it's a really an international environment, and the network that you can do, especially with people that do master or MBA programs, is really really good because of that.
Okay, so extremely diverse. I think that's really, really good for
Yeah,
most students. So not just
yeah,
being
yeah.
in a place like Europe, which is pretty easy to connect to other countries around. So I know you guys again mentioned that have many campuses throughout Europe, but which are the different locations, and would there be any specific difference to each of them?
Well, we have different campuses. That's right. We have our main campus, and the one that's like we opened first is the Berlin campus. That's actually where we have most of our bachelor, masters, and MBA programs. We have a campus in Hamburg. We offer there an international, a master in international business. We have a campus in Hanover, and we have a brand new campus in Potsdam. It's about 30 minutes from Berlin. So it's a brand new campus, brand new bachelor, masters, a global MBA. So it's pretty exciting.
And apart from actually the academics, which we'll move into in a bit, what are other activities that students can do in any of these campuses?
Well, I think one of our biggest plus, I would say, for an international student is our career center. The different institutions like Kingston, Arden, Grenoble are going really really big with this. Those are our partners through which we offer our higher education programs. So they're going really big. So the Career Center organizes like almost on a weekly basis. Well, obviously before this whole COVID situation, or used to organize like I don't know, like visits to companies. They have a brand new app that you can download, and you can look for vacancies of like for example internship, paid internship, unpaid internships, jobs after you're done, because everybody has this post-study work permit, right, with of 18 months. So they also have like these workshops. So they do a lot of things with students. That's one. And also GISMA as a school provides job opportunities if students want to get like a side job, like, well, a job besides their studies. And we also have the student community. Like we have ambassadors for each, like more and more master and bachelor program are getting these ambassadors. And these ambassadors are, for example, we have one in Arden that is organizing his salsa classes in weekends. And so we have a lot of things like students, the school, the university. So it's a mixture of things.
And in this case, off campus itself, so more freely for the students, because I know many students want to know what there is to do in Germany. I know you mentioned over the weekends they can do salsa or stuff like that, but other than that, what other stuff can usually students do? I know apart from a year with COVID, for example, right now, but in a regular year, what's that kind of like?
Okay, yeah, well, obviously Berlin, I will take Berlin because that's our main campus and that's where the most of our students are studying at the moment. So Berlin obviously is the capital. So, well, in weekends, there are loads and loads and loads of stuff to do, right? It's, for starters, Berlin is like, there are like a zillion places you can visit, right? It's super historical. It has a lot of tourist attractions. There are a lot of tourists, by the way. So it has a lot of restaurants. It has a lot of clubs, bars, you name it. But also a place like Hamburg, it's like the second biggest harbor in Europe. There are also like loads and loads of places you can go. But besides that, obviously, we are talking here about a European country, Germany, like a European country. Like distances are not the same as in America, right? Like North, South America, it's not the same. So a lot of students also take advantage of the time that they are studying, obviously in Europe, and travel, right? Like, for example, from Berlin to Amsterdam, it's a train ride of 4 hours nowadays. You have really fast trains, or you have these low cost air companies like Ryanair, EasyJet, like from London to Berlin. Well, if you get like a really good flight, it can cost you like 35, 40 euros, something like that. So yeah, a lot of students do that as well, obviously.
So it's really easy to travel from one country to another and to actually explore the entire place around the schools.
Yeah, like the whole network, the whole train network in Europe is really, really good. But also like these low cost flights are like, that's like really even cheaper to go than by train. So.
Oh, okay. I've actually never been on a train, so looking forward to that.
Oh, really? You should try it.
And what would be some main differences you might want to mention between a school, for example, in the States or the Canada versus one in Europe? So is there like more difference when it comes to how the school is structured when it comes to actual academics?
I think so. I think the main difference is that in Canada and in the USA, well, I never studied. I have to say, I studied in Europe. I never studied in Canada or USA. But well, what I see the difference is that in America, the whole idea of studying is studying, and then that you will live in a well, on or nearby the campus, and that your whole life is bound to your bachelor or your master study. Yeah, like everything you do is like, because you live also on the campus, right? And in Europe or Germany, that's a little different, because one, cities are not that big that they can have those big campuses, right? So one, obviously, academically speaking, Europe has like the history of Europe. Sorry, that's my iPhone. So obviously go way back, like the oldest universities, when Cambridge was founded or Oxford was founded, like here in America, there weren't even like a civilization yet. So the academic history goes way back. So the quality of teaching is really good. But it's also like, that's just one part of a student's life, and then his private life is other. So I see that as the biggest difference.
Okay. Now moving on a bit into academics, what would be GISMA's most popular programs that usually international students would be the go-to?
Okay. Our most popular programs, I would say, nowadays are definitely the masters and the MBAs, because most of them, they are one-year programs. They are 100% in English, so they don't have to do like some kind of foundation. Well, if their English is obviously good enough, they don't have to do a foundation before to enter. And well, several of our partners are giving really good scholarships for this 2021 for our well, different master and MBA programs. So well, those are definitely the most popular ones. What kind of masters? Mostly the ones that have to do with data analytics, digital marketing, business intelligence, like those kind of topics.
Okay, so very tech-based.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Administration style. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to move into the scholarship part that you were mentioning in a bit, but not yet.
Okay.
As students do their bachelor's or their master's, you were mentioning at the beginning that many are looking to do work options, so internships or something like that. But you were mentioning that it's kind of outside of of campus, outside of GISMA. But with you guys, do you actually help students find these internships?
Yes, of course. We have, like I said, we have these persons that work. We have a physical career center in the Berlin campus, actually. So per institution, there is a person that is guiding the students with this. Internships most of the times are at the end of a bachelor program. It's not really in the first year of a bachelor program or at the end of a master. Well, MBA, not really, but well, at the end of a master program. So yes, they are the ones that make actually the partnership with different institutions, or if they want to do some vocational stuff, that's also possible. But yeah, definitely we have support there for the students.
Okay, and just one question that I'm pretty sure many students watching, and some of them, depending if they're looking for bachelors as well, their parents are wondering, what's a general cost per year for an international student to study at GISMA?
Okay, it depends a little bit because we have different bachelors, right, with the different institutions. But we have bachelors for this 2021 that goes from 6,000 euros per year. Depends. Some are we have several options. So we have some that cost 6,000 per year, others 8,000. There are some that are little like that 9,600. Depends a little bit which bachelor you choose, but there are already options that cost 6,000 euros per year, which is, I think, really it's a really good price, especially if we are going to compare it with private universities in, for example, Mexico or Colombia or whatever Latin American country, right? And the other good thing is that our whatever partner you choose, they give you like payment options. So it's not that you have to pay the 3 or 4 years upfront. So I think that's also a good thing, right?
Yeah, pretty good. Now we all know that last year and part of this year has been a bit different than most with COVID going on.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask how have things been in Germany overall? How's the situation been for students? Would know that it'll be safe or it'll be a lot easier going forward?
Well, obviously, I think, like I said, like at the beginning, like Germany is a really well-organized country, right? So, as from the beginning, they have tried to manage this as good as possible. Obviously, well, it's a virus, so you can control it like in certain, like until a certain point. But what they're doing right now, and they have been really good at it. They have been really strict with the curfews. They have been strict with the lockdowns. Actually, Germany right now is in a lockdown until the 14th of February. But lockdown, it doesn't mean that you cannot travel. Like embassies are open. German embassies are open in all Latin America except for Brazil. That's the only country that has no restriction. But because also, obviously, Brazil is not really helping itself with restriction orders. But okay, that's the only country. All other countries, you can go to the you can you can ask for your how do you call it, your you can go to the embassy side and then you can issue your visa without restrictions. The only restrictions that Germany has, obviously, is that as of the 14th of February, it's not all universities have to manage this blended learning option, this blended learning thing. So it's like 1, 2, 3 days a week face-to-face classes, right? And the rest has to be online until this whole thing will be over. That can, like, I don't know when that will be, with the vaccines and stuff, no one knows. But it's totally free and safe to travel to Germany. And I think it's actually way safer to be there because hospitals are like, they're not full like in Latin America. Health system is really good, and health insurance you have as a student is also protecting you 100%. So it's totally safe to go to Germany, and it's actually, I think, again, safer to be there than in Latin America.
Okay, I think it's interesting for students to know that.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, just one final question is, what would you like to tell international students who may be considering studying in Germany later on?
I think like Germany nowadays is, especially in the last 3 years that I have been recruiting for German institutions, has been a country that is really growing and getting more and more benefits for international students. It's a country where an international student can work during and after his studies, and it's a country that is looking for young new students that want to go to Germany, want to invest in themselves, get a degree, like get an education, and then stay in Germany to work. They even got a year ago like this whole new immigration law that is giving like work permits to international students that want to specialize in certain areas. They are giving those work permits like really fast because they are really looking for the new generation right now in Germany. So yeah, that's what I want to say.
That's great, but now students know that. Also, to anyone watching now, students know exactly who you're going to talk to when you start your application process with GISMA if you're from Latin America. So
Yeah,
now
of course.
what I wanted to do to everyone watching is to show everyone how to find GISMA on applywave. So I'm going to actually share my screen and go through that process. So 1 second, sharing. Okay, so I am right now, as usual, on the profile of GISMA Business School, and I'm going to go back to the homepage and walk us through the process to get to this point. In this case, we'd click on bachelor's, but we could also click on master's, depending, and then just go ahead and write GISMA. We'll get a few options depending on the location and campuses as we were going over at the beginning. In this case, click the first option, GISMA Business School, search, and this will take us directly to the pre-profile of the school. This will show us the tuition, scholarship, a few of other key information. But if you want to actually get all of the information, click Read More. And this will show you the complete profile of the school. That'll give you a bit of a description. Again, the information of tuition, requirements, the available programs on that specific location, where this location is geographically on the map. Pictures and videos to get a bit of a more interesting view of the school itself and the students and international life. And finally, to actually start ahead and apply. So that being done, back with you, Laura. Well, thank you again for today, for sharing all of this information. I know the students really appreciate it. Many students are interested in European countries, so Germany is a part of that. So any final mentions you would like to say to students?
Yeah, well, just don't be afraid to travel because, well, one, I think there is never a good time to decide where to travel, not, and it's really going to be the greatest experience. Well, I myself have done like several internships and exchange programs, so it's going to be the best thing you will ever do or invest in. So don't be afraid to travel because really it's safer to be there than in Latin America right now.
Okay, well, thank you again for your time today and for all that information. And to everyone, thank you for being here and see you next time.